Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Wingsport Today. Today, let's talk about what I consider, and in my opinion, is nothing more than an agency to legally kidnap children and break up families, especially when they are harassing the wrong families and letting the families they need to look at get away. So, let's talk about couple people told me about their children going to school and getting a scratch or a bump, and it's all swollen. So the school takes a picture because they're scared to death of children and youth. They're afraid if they don't bow down to the almighty children and youth that they'll get in trouble. And they ask the child, whether it be a boy or a girl or whatever, what happened? Where'd you get that bump or scratch from? And they say, oh, daddy beat me up. And they say, okay. And they wait for a little while without knowing that daddy plays with the child, and they kind of wrestle around and he goes, there, I beat you up, I beat you up, I beat you, I beat you. Either way. And then they ask the child again, what happened? Oh, daddy beat me up. So the school, being scared to death of the all-powerful and all-kidnapping children and youth, calls children and youth, and a children and youth worker goes to that child's home. And they say, well, where'd you get that bump, that scratch from? And they say, oh, I fell. Oh, the cat scratched me. And it's no longer swollen. Well, let's see. It's no longer swollen because it's no longer freshly done like it was at day school or at preschool or kindergarten. So it's a normal scratch and a bump that occurred earlier in the day, had nothing to do with it at home. And now let's look at some of the workers. They have book knowledge, but how many of them have children? Now, if you have book knowledge, that's all great and wonderful, but if you do not have children to apply it to, then that book knowledge is useless. Because not every child is a book standard, not every adult is a book standard, not every family is a book standard. So if you try to tell somebody how to raise their children when you don't have children to have practical 24-hour experience, not only are you an idiot, but I nominate you for Moron of the Year. So we as a community need to insist that all children and youth caseworkers have had children for at least 4 to 5 years so they have some practical experience, not only the book knowledge. And some of the caseworkers that do have children, they are usually a little more understanding because they know what you have to go through on a day in and day out basis. Now there's one worker who I guess doesn't like me. Her name's Mary Martin. Apparently she doesn't like my alternative lifestyle or alternative religious beliefs, and that would be her personal opinion. And there is a definite, if it's either, it's definitely in violation of federal discrimination laws that she's applying to try to keep me away from seeing my nephews and nieces, because my niece just informed me not 3 weeks ago that Mary Martin asked her if she was keeping her away from me. And my niece said, yes. Well, I had been down for some back surgery, so haven't been able to. So, considering I have a letter from months ago from the director of Children and Youth, who stated that I was not involved in any open cases with children and youth, then she would have no business using the agency to try to keep me away from my family members or friends' children, only her own bigotry. So if you have Mary Martin for a caseworker, in my opinion, watch out. She's going to try to apply bigotry to you. She has just proved herself to be a bigot, and I left a message for her supervisor who never got back to me, so apparently her supervisor condones this bigotry. At least that's what it would appear, since her supervisor chose not to respond when I asked what the problem was and explained that there is no problem, and I have a letter from Rick Saylor signed by him stating I am not involved in any open cases and everything. So, what else can we believe? Bigotry is accepted by children and youth. It's applied, and one of their techniques of kidnapping your children and giving them away to other people and ruining your family and your life. Just because they think they're God doesn't mean they are.